Plants are talking to us all the time. We just have to learn their language. And when they're sick with a virus, they are practically screaming for help through these incredible and sometimes deadly visual signals. So today, we're going to learn how to read those signals. By the end of this, you'll be a regular plant detective. Okay, let's get into it. Right? You've seen it? That kind of sad-looking plant in the corner with the yellowing, spotted leaves? Well, it's not just being dramatic. There is a full-blown biological war happening inside its cells. It's the plant's defenses versus an invading virus. And the leaves? Well, the leaves are the battlefield where we get a front row seat. Every single spot, every strange pattern, every single patch of yellow, it's a clue. It's a clue in this high-stakes biological detective story. The symptoms are the evidence, and by learning how to interpret them, we can figure out exactly what kind of attack that plant is facing. So grab your magnifying glass, because you're about to become the Sherlock Holmes of the plant world. All right, our first clue is a total classic. It's one of the most common signs you will ever see. The plant just starts to lose that vibrant, healthy green color. It's like the color, the very life force, is just being drained away in patches. This whole phenomenon is called chlorosis. Okay, so chlorosis is a loss of chlorophyll. We've got that. But the really crucial detail for our investigation is that it's not a uniform, even fading. No, it's more like this creeping sickness, and it shows up in these distinct, irregular patches. And that patchiness, that's our first major piece of evidence. It tells us the problem is localized, for now. So why does this happen? Well, you can think of a virus as this tiny little corporate saboteur. It sneaks into the plant cells, and it just throws a wrench right into the machinery of the chloroplasts. Those are the little green engines that run on sunlight and make the plant's food. So the virus disrupts the chlorophyll assembly line, the plant can't make its green pigment anymore, the cells are still alive, but their food factories are totally crippled. They're basically starving in place. And for a farmer, that means lower yields and lost money. And this sabotage can look really different depending on who the culprit is. For instance, sometimes you just get these simple yellow patches. But then there's intravenous chlorosis, where the veins, the plant's plumbing, they stay green, but all the tissue in between turns yellow. Then you've got the opposite, vein clearing. And finally, you have the infamous mosaic pattern, this beautiful but totally deadly quilt of light and dark patches. It's the calling card of viruses like the tobacco mosaic virus, which was actually the very first virus ever discovered. Okay. But what if the yellowing isn't in patches? What if it's a complete, uniform takeover of the entire leaf? Well, that's our next clue. And let me tell you, it tells a very different and much more serious story about how this infection is spreading. This condition is what we call yellows. And unlike that localized little skirmish of chlorosis, this is a sign that the virus has won a major battle. It's gone systemic. This is no longer just a localized problem in a few cell factories. The invasion is now officially plant-wide. So why the hostile takeover? Well, this is where the virus gets really nasty. It's moved beyond simple sabotage. Now it's attacking the plant's infrastructure, its entire circulatory system. It targets the phloem, which are the vessels that move all the sugar and nutrients around the plant. By clogging up this vital transport network, the virus basically starves the entire leaf. And that's what causes that uniform, desperate yellowing. It's a full-on assault, and you'll often see it start in the older leaves at the bottom and just creep its way up the plant. So let's just hammer this home. This distinction is so important. Chlorosis is patchy. That's a sign of a localized infection. Yellowing is uniform. That's the sign of a systemic crisis. Think of it like this. One is a battle. The other suggests the war is being lost. And recognizing that difference is absolutely key to getting the diagnosis right. All right, our investigation is about to take a bit of a darker turn. We're moving beyond cells that are just sick or starving. We're now looking at cells that are dead. This is necrosis, and it's the evidence of controlled and sometimes even sacrificial cell death. You know those brown, black, crispy spots you sometimes see on a sick plant? That's necrosis. It's basically the plant version of a scar or a wound. It's a clear sign that a group of cells has died. But how they died, now that's what's truly fascinating. Now, here's the crazy part. A lot of the time, the plant does this to itself. It's a defense mechanism called a hypersensitive reaction. And it is a desperate last-ditch strategy. To stop a virus from spreading, the plant will intentionally trigger a self-destruct sequence in the infected cells and their immediate neighbors. It literally kills its own tissue to create a firewall of death, sacrificing a part to save the whole. It's this huge biological gamble, trying to quarantine the invader before it takes over the entire system. So, our final clue is often the most visually stunning, and really the most telling of them all. It's so distinctive, it's like the virus can't help but leave behind its own personal calling card, a signature written right there on the surface of the leaf. These are ring spots, and they are exactly what they sound like. These striking, circular, almost target-like patterns that can show up on leaves and even on fruit. The rings themselves can be yellow from chlorosis or brown from necrosis, but it's that incredible concentric shape that's the real key. So how do these form? It's so cool. These rings are basically a map of the infection over time. The virus starts at a single point, that's the bullseye, and it begins to replicate, spreading outward in these waves, kind of like ripples in a pond. Each ring represents a new wave of the attack, a new cycle of viral replication and the plant's response. So you might get a ring of chlorosis, then a ring of necrosis, then another ring of chlorosis, just beautifully illustrating the push and pull of this battle at a microscopic level. And here's the crucial takeaway. If you see a ring spot, it is almost certainly a virus. For a plant pathologist, this is the smoking gun. It is the dead giveaway for viruses like the tomato-spotted wilt virus, which is a pathogen that causes billions with a B, billions of dollars in crop losses around the world. That's how distinctive this pattern is. So there you have it, our 4 key clues all laid out. We've got chlorosis, the patchy sickness. We've got yellows, the systemic takeover. Necrosis, the scorched earth defense. And ring spots, the viral bullseye. 4 really distinct signs, each one telling a very different story about the secret war being waged inside our plants. You now know the language. The world around you is just filled with these silent conversations, these visual stories of struggle and survival. Now that you know what to look for, in your garden, in the park, heck, even in the produce aisle at the grocery store, you'll start seeing them everywhere. So go out there, be a plant detective, and see what stories you can uncover.